Evangelist Sule Akinremi has served for over 35 years as a church worker at the Christian Mission for the Deaf Church, Lagos. He holds an NCE in English and Special Education and a bachelor's degree in English Education and a diploma from the Sure Word Bible Institute. He has dedicated his life to teaching, preaching, raising youth in leadership, and undertaking evangelical missions across the country.
Good morning, everybody. I greet you all with the love of Christ. It is the love of Christ that brought me here. Once again, I say good morning to you all. I want to thank Kodisa for giving me this opportunity to be here today. I was so surprised. Since 2024, you have been doing, 2013, you have been doing this program, and this is the very first time that I will be here. However, I want to apologize because I have one confession to give to you. I have one confession. When my church called me to tell me about this invitation, when I read the information, I was surprised that this type of church has been existing and they have come again. For most of my life, I have been going to Babalawo, Afar, to church, to look for a miracle, to be able to hear and talk. When I was young, but when I heard the name of the church, healing, the chapel of the healing cross, maybe I will get my healing here, since I have been going to. I have suffered enough about this hearing impaired of that. They put me here and there, Babalawo and all of that. But when I heard, I have gone to a lot of places to seek for healing. But I am happy to be here this morning. Yeah, okay. Go this side. Now, we want to talk about church-led initiative and partnership expanding assistive technology for deaf people. I am going to speak about assistive technology and how impactful it is on deaf individual and the church and the people. Technology, assistive technology. However, I will start with, I want us to see one quote, one of my favorite statements. Some men see things as they are and asked, why? I dream of things that never were and asked, why not? That is one of my favorite quotes. Things that were never possible before are now become possible through technology. And technology is working with invention, and that is happening now. The materials, the things, you just think of things that you think is not possible. You go online and you find them. And language perspection. I never thought it's going to be possible, but thank God for this. Our former lecturer for that information. That there are things that they think is not possible, but he can say it's very possible. Deafness is about our ear, that we cannot hear. Because we cannot hear, we lost many things. But of the things that we lost about the information, the fact is that we talk if we talk now, people can easily hear, but for the deaf, we cannot hear. We will be the last person to hear the current information that is of things that is happening. In the line of communication, deaf people are the last to be aware. For example, as you are speaking, it is the interpreter that will hear that voice, that information first, before pass the information across to them. So they are the last person. The communication is in two ways, but for the deaf, it's three. One, two, before getting back to them. The person that is that is disseminating that information, number one, the interpreter, number two, before it gets to them. So they are the third party to listen to any information, any current information at all. That is the challenges that deafness imposes in them. But thankful for the technology that make the information to become little ease for them. That recently, he has an health challenge. He went to the hospital to see the doctor. The doctor refused to attend to him. He asked him that, where is your interpreter? I told the doctor that, no, I don't need interpreter. We can talk, we can relate, and he started writing. But the doctor said no, and he also received that I can cope. Why the deaf problem will base on interpreter alone? Even if I can write, I can see the doctor, and you prescribe. Okay, if I want to discuss a personal situation about my health with you, must the interpreter be aware? If, assuming you have HIV or you have cancer, and you want to discuss with doctor for examination, and you say it through the interpreter, if the interpreter is not private enough, all the world would know the ailment that you are carrying. Or, okay, if you have gonorrhea, the interpreter will hear about it. So that is one of the problem and shortcome of a deaf individual. But technology have made it more easier for them. I have phone number of my interpreter. I have the phone number of my pathologist. I have phone number of my doctors. I can go and make a text message or type the situation that is going on with him. As far as interpreter is concerned, there might be a limitation to what the deaf can do when it comes to some situation. But like the church matter is bringing the gospel to the world. As simple as it is. Yet, for the deaf, that gospel will have to tell them the way and understand. Definitely the interpreter would be needed. Like with the deaf that are sitting here, let me tell you, deafness does not come in isolation. With deafness, when it comes, there is the speech disorder. When there is this speech disorder, there is deafness. Because if you cannot talk, if you cannot hear, you cannot talk. And if you can talk and you cannot hear, definitely deafness has already set in. Blindness. There is a group of people outside who are both deaf and blind. But all the technology that Madam have listed for us, how can it affect or improve someone that cannot hear and talk to get improved with those assist the AI? Know that it is not just deafness. Other disability is attached and hiding somewhere. Like for example now, education. Make it easy for people like him, like himself, to understand Christ has died. But for most deaf people, what happened? That Christ died. You have to do a lot of explanation. How? With the story of how Christ died. For people like us, we understand that we understand what happened. Christ have died. But for them, they have to be explained to lot of explanation that why would Christ died. So as we are here now, the language that we are speaking is English. The language we are using is English, but his friends, English is not language of deaf people. English is not the language of deaf people. You can say, in the beginning, in the past, the missionary from America came to Nigeria. One of them is Dr. Andrew Foster. He brought gospel of Christ to the deaf in Nigeria. But the difficulties there is communication. He brought gospel, but how to communicate? He first established school to teach them English, to teach them sign language. From that, now he was able to preach Christ to them. Before the gospel come, there was education first. So if not that, there will be difficulty. That is why for us, to bring gospel to deaf people, there has to be a language that they all understand. A language that is common, that they can easily assimilate. That is what we call sign language. Now, for example, someone is deaf. How do the parents at home communicate with them without the use of sign language? Food. You understand it? Food. You understand? Water. That sign language and the sign language, it is not English. Sign language is of a different types. Like English, I am using it to call sign language English. There is another language that is not in English that will be translated to another language that the deaf people understand. So, to bring Christ to deaf people, it has to be their language. And one of their language is through storytelling. Christ have died, have to be in a story. And that is why, as you are speaking, signing, communicating, some people will understand, but through you all, 5 minutes, one minute to understand information, it will take a deaf people to understand such information 10 minutes. The information that you will get in 1 minute, it will take a deaf people to understand in 10 minutes. Because after you have spoken I have to explain in the way that they will understand. For example, in many churches, they are doing English and Yoruba service. If you can see such church having Yoruba and English service, first service, second service, Yoruba, and they understand why. If you can do English service and Yoruba service, why not sign language section? So as AI is helping us to reduce the stress, the distance, to bridge the gap, and to make the information that you are getting in 1 minute, for them to get in 10 minutes. Now, the AI is now reducing the stress from 10 to 5 minutes. To bring 1 minute information to deaf individual, it will take like 4 to 5 minutes. It's because of the help of AI that is helping us. John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth in him will not lose but have everlasting life. This is simple, understandable for deaf who are educated, but for others, as any deaf that gathered, 95% of the information is lost. Why? Because it says there that deaf live in an isolation. They have a complete disability. So for them to benefit, they have to be breaking down of that point that they can help them to receive and move on. Remember, he said that we can make the information when the speaker is talking, it has to be slow and steady so that they will not lose the receptive information from somebody that is interpreting. So this AI has reduced some of communication difficulties that they are having. Like this one now. When someone is speaking, there is captioning that they written. So if there is that application, some that can read will benefit from the inscription on the screen, and also the importance of interpreter. However, for deaf people to understand. For deaf people to understand much about gospel, there is need of support of hearing people to preach or to teach or preach the word of God by encouraging leadership skills. It is not only leadership. When you gather people in the church and just give them interpreter, some of them may not receive Christ. The best way is every church should train to be pastor, to be an evangelist, to be a church leader, to be a deaf leader. so that the deaf younger one will be able to benefit from them because they understand the language even more better than the young ones and even better than the interpreters. For them to have leadership, there are materials that are needed to be provided so that they can get developed, because we need to take it departure. We need to take departure from where? We have deaf people as our church member, not just number, but where are they? Where are we taking them to? What do we want them to understand about this? Nothing stops the church from development in the church and their language. In his own church, Christian Mission for the Deaf Church is a church where all deaf are members, where all leaders are deaf, along with the hearing children. But in that place, our capacity to impact is very limited. So we don't have all the access, the AI, to make the evangelism to be possible. So we need partnership and collaboration and invention of the organization like CODISA to make things possible and impact more people. Nothing stopped this church from having a deaf pastor. Nothing stopped Catholic Church from having a deaf pastor. Even if possible, one day, the Pope can be deaf. Even if it is difficult for a black man to become a pope, but it is very easy for any pope to become a deaf. You may not believe it. You know, there is we have a deaf doctor, we have deaf engineer, we have deaf lawyer, deaf technologist, but deaf pastor is very few. So if we can make this possible, we can make it to encourage people and train. But what we definitely need from you is help us to do a better, help us to develop our potential and leave us alone to lead. That is it. So, for us to move on, there are some challenges. So part of the challenges that we are having is all these AI that she has listed, they are all expensive. Deaf cannot afford most of, but with support and collaboration, all will be possible. He has one strong quality that as he is, God has purpose for his life. And we always run out from church. Individually, organizations that would tell that, you will hear one day. No, he's always run away from there. Because God has more purpose. He makes the deaf, He makes the deaf blind. There is no limit in the capacity. I have no, he has only God. With that conviction, I am proud to be a deaf. And I can read my Bible by myself and understand the meaning of the content of the Bible. If other people believe or not, as I learn, I even try to teach others. I make leads of others. I teach them, I bring them and lead them, generation after generation. That is the development of a leader, and it has to continue. Secondly, we need to take a departure from Tokenem. O-K-E-N. Okay, that's giving the heart of assisting in helping that, okay, he's looking hungry, oh yeah, take. Or what do you want? Oh yeah, give him 1,000, give him 5,000, okay, oh yeah, give him 2 there, okay. Stipend, yes. We need to depart from that. We don't need to sympathy. Yes. Empathy more on empowerment. We don't need to be sympathy. We need to be empathy. Empower disabled people to lead them to the community and let them be independent. Don't see them as someone that is there. We just need to help them. We just need to assist them. So, for that to be possible, I believe collaboration with deaf organizations, many deaf organizations, and translation, BSN, Bible Society of Nigeria, Jehovah's Witness has their own Bible translation. Other churches have their Bible translation. But to take it to work, it requires money and it requires support. So I will be full and require support. For gospel to go far, we need more people for Christ. That is what I am here to tell you. Finally, I want to apologize that I might have spoken in a way that many of you did not understand, but because I am sorry, it is the difficulty about my disability. But however, there's reason for it. There is a quote, they will show it, that they want us to take. The limit of my language. Okay. The limit of my language and sense of reasoning means the limit of my words, Ludwig, with Justine. Thank you for listening.